Another money-saving recipe, juicy roasted chicken with a delicious golden skin. This chicken and rice is gonna knock your socks off. Hey everyone, I'm Flo, Dude is behind the camera, and we're all about simple food, simple faith. This is one of our favorite recipes because it's like the Hainanese chicken, except the chicken is roasted. And there is nothing better than that ginger onion sauce that you get to serve alongside it. From my research, I found that it is the Chinese people in Malaysia who like the Hainanese chicken, which is boiled or braised in a liquid, as opposed to the Malay style of eating this dish with a roasted chicken. I'm using one large shallot that I'm going to mince because I'm going to put it in the mortar and pestle to pound it into more of a paste. So I'm going to try to cut this up as small as possible. Okay, just putting my shallots in my mortar and pestle. Is this the pestle part or the mortar part? I've never actually figured that out.
Put it in the comments, guys, so we can figure this out.
Okay, 3 cloves of garlic. Okay, I'm just using my garlic press because I think it's going to get it finer than if I try to chop it up myself. But you can totally chop it up yourself if you like. That just helps the paste get pastier. Okay, I'm starting off with a pretty big piece of ginger. This portion is going to go in the green onion and ginger sauce, and this is going in here. So I'm just going to peel it with the back of a knife. And the skin just comes right off. See? And you don't waste any ginger. All right, I've had people say that this is dangerous, so you can use the back of a spoon if you like. I'm just used to using the paring knife.
But Flo likes living dangerously.
Okay, and I'm gonna grate this ginger into the bowl as well. Yeah, why can't they just call this a bowl? Bowl and pestle. All right. And we're going to pound this into a paste. And if you can't do this or you don't have a mortar and pestle, you know what? I only bought this like maybe this past year sometime. You can just put it in a little food processor and just process it into a paste. All right, guys. To me, this is good enough. But if you want to keep going, that's totally up to you. But I think this is exactly what I want. I'm using chicken leg quarters today because they were super cheap. I think these 4 legs were like $9. And you know what? It's gonna feed my family. So I am gonna take off some of the fat and I'm gonna use this in the rice. You're like, what? You know what? You're not gonna eat this anyways. So let's just take it off. There's probably an easier way to do this, but you know, Flo can't be bothered. All right, so I took a little bit of fat off of each leg and I'm just gonna set this aside. Okay, so we're going to lift up the skin a little bit and put maybe about a tablespoon into each leg. And a lot of recipes I saw, it was like to use this paste on the outside, but I figure, you know what? Let's put it on the inside so we actually get the flavors into the chicken without having to marinate for too long. So I'm just gonna lift up the skin in the drumstick as well and kind of push the paste in there. And I also figure that if it's in the sauce, there's a higher chance that it's going to be burnt, like the pieces of shallot or ginger or garlic. And this way, when you cut into it, you're going to have all of this yummy goodness in each bite. All right, now I'm going to make a marinade. I'm using 3 tablespoons of oyster sauce. Three. 1 tablespoon of ketchup mayonnaise. And this is a dark sweet soy sauce. It's kind of molasses-like. It's different from a dark soy sauce, but if you don't have this, you can definitely use regular soy sauce with some sugar. 1 tablespoon of regular soy sauce. And about a teaspoon of chili powder. That will give you some heat and some color. Just going to pour this over, and we're going to massage it into the skin of the chicken. And this is what's going to give it that golden color. Don't forget the other side. I'm going to cover it, and we're going to put it in the fridge and let it marinate for at least 2 hours. And if you don't have time to marinate, don't even bother. You can throw it into the oven or air fryer as it'll still be very tasty because we have those aromatics underneath the skin. But if you let it marinate, the longer you let it marinate, the tastier it's going to be. While the chicken is marinating, I am just going to prepare some of the other ingredients. I'm going to need 3 cloves of garlic minced, and this is going into the rice. All right, setting this aside for the rice. I have about 6 stalks of green onion, and I'm just going to chop this up. This is going into the green onion and ginger sauce.
Which is ultra important.
Now, I'm making a lot here because my family loves it and it will all be gone. But if you don't want to make this amount, you don't have to. You can totally cut it in half. Also, I should say that we like eating it with this green onion and ginger sauce. We don't often eat it with chili, with a chili sauce, which I know all the Malaysians and the Singaporeans are gonna be all up in arms because I'm not serving it with chili sauce, but we can handle the heat, you guys, we're Canadian. All right, you can leave it chunky like this, but I like to cut it down just a little bit more. Especially these white pieces, or the white and light green parts. All right, putting that in a bowl. And remember that piece of ginger? And I've peeled it already, and we're just going to grate it into the green onion. All right, so it's about 2 ounces of ginger. And I'll give you about 3 tablespoons. And you can add more or less according to your own taste. After the chicken has been marinating for a couple of hours, and again, that's totally optional if you're strapped for time, never feel like you have to marinate to have it for dinner. Like often, like I don't have time to marinate, but it's still a really tasty dinner. It's just more tasty if you have the time to marinate. I'm making the chicken legs in the air fryer today. I've preheated it to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you don't have an air fryer, you can totally do this in the oven. Check out my easy soy sauce chicken recipe to find out how I do it in the oven. So I'm going to try to stand these up if I can, so that I can get more of them in. Okay, one more. And I'm gonna flip these halfway so that everything can be evenly cooked. Right. Cooking it at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. Then I'm gonna flip them and cook them for another 10 to 15 minutes. So while the chicken is cooking, we're gonna finish our condiments and the rice. Adding about half a teaspoon of kosher salt to the ginger and green onion. I'm gonna heat up the Instant Pot. Heating up my Instant Pot and adjusting it to high heat, to more heat. That will just get it hotter faster. Once it says hot, Adding 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil or a neutral oil. Okay, we're just heating that oil until it gets hot, and then we're going to pour it into the ginger and green onion. And give that a stir. And then we're going to set this aside. All right, remember that chicken fat? So now we're going to put that in, fry that up. And we're going to try to render some of this fat so that we can create more flavor. You see it? You see how that is already creating fat?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we want to see. We want about 2 tablespoons of fat. And if you can't get 2 tablespoons, you can just add more oil to get to that amount. This just might take a few minutes. All right, now I'm just gonna discard that chicken fat. But look at all the fat that's been rendered. Okay, I'm gonna turn down the heat to normal. And if you're doing this in a pot on the stove, you could do it the same way I'm making this rice. All right, this was 15 minutes, so it's almost done. I'm gonna leave it in there for another 5 minutes or so while I get the rice going. And I am gonna flip them so that the other side gets a little bit more brown.
Wow, look at that color though.
I know, it looks so good. All right, another 5 minutes. We have the saute mode on normal, and I'm gonna add my garlic. Remember those 3 cloves of garlic that I pressed earlier? I'm gonna cook it in this fat just for about 20 to 30 seconds. And then we're adding my rice. Now, I thought I had some pandan leaves in my freezer, but I was completely out. So if you have pandan leaf and you want to add it to the rice, it would make it super fragrant. You can add it at the same time as the garlic and just stir fry it for that 30 seconds. And then you're gonna leave it in here while we cook the rice. And you'll probably need 1 or 2 leaves. And that flavor goes a long way. I'm really sad that I forgot to pick some up. So you want the rice to be coated in that chicken fat. I know it sounds really gross, but I'm telling you, it makes the rice so tasty. So I have 3 rice cups of rice in here. It's approximately 2 normal cups, like standard cups. But I like using the rice cups because then I know exactly how much water to add or how much liquid to add. After 3 to 5 minutes of sauteing the rice, we're gonna cancel the heat. We don't want it to stick at the bottom. And then we're gonna add chicken broth. So I'm adding equal parts of chicken broth as I did for the rice. So I had 3 rice cups of rice, and now I'm adding 3 rice cups of chicken broth. And I know how much I'm adding because, like a rice cooker, there are these lines on the side of your pot that tell you exactly how many cups there are. But my understanding is that the new Instant Pots don't have these lines, which is really, really sad because when I first bought my Instant Pot, I bought it because I needed a new rice cooker. So if you're using a rice cooker, make rice the same way you would normal, equal parts of water and rice. Putting the lid on, making sure the sealing knob is on sealing. We're gonna cook it on high pressure for 4 minutes and then let it naturally release for 10 minutes. Once the rice has cooked and has naturally released for 10 minutes, we're gonna cancel and release the remaining steam. I can't remember which way to turn it.
There's nothing.
There shouldn't be anything. I don't know why it was still up. Anyways, here we go. My goodness, that rice smells so good.
It does.
We're gonna ante up by using some dried shallots. So I'm just using ones that are that you can buy in the store. And we're adding 2 tablespoons into the rice. And we're just gonna give that a stir. Oh my goodness. Smells and looks amazing. Have you guys seen the chicken? Altogether, I cooked it for 25 minutes, so 15 minutes, then I kind of flipped them and cooked them for another 10 minutes. I just wanted to make sure that the meat was cooked through because it's a big piece of chicken. We're also serving it with just simple sliced English cucumbers, and we call them English cucumbers here. I don't know what they call it elsewhere. I guess maybe they're seedless, long cucumbers. And we're just gonna plate some for Dude because I know you guys are all dying to find out how it tastes. Just take this one. Look at how juicy it is. See if I can find where I'm supposed to cut through. All right, which side do you want, Dude? Drumstick or?
I'll do the thigh side.
Thigh. Okay, I'll put this back. Maybe a slice of cucumber?
Sure, but
Oops.
don't forget a giant helping of that condiment.
All right.
Oh yeah.
All right. Are you all ready for?
Definitely.
The taste, or the taste la. One of our favorite dishes in this household is the Hainan chicken, and this version, the roast Hainan chicken, I'm looking forward to digging in. Look at this skin, guys. I mean, it's not crispy, but it's like rendered down and it smells incredible. I wish you guys were here with smell-o-vision because the aroma is fantastic. So I'm gonna break down the chicken, get that bite in here with some skin, of course, and the condiment of the ginger and onion and the rice for that perfect bite. Dude, it's so good. There's so much flavor that is exploding in my mouth right now. The chicken is moist, tender, juicy, and packed with flavor. Those aromatics that you put underneath the skin, all combined for like fantastic flavors. I just can't get over how good this tastes. And of course, when you blend it in with, get that condiment in there, and it's just a mouthful of goodness every single time. So you guys have to try this.
All right, thanks, Dude.
Yup.
The Malaysian roast chicken is so flavorful, but if you want to check out the Hainanese chicken, I will see you over there.